Yo, hey yo,
What
it's your
up? What
boys.
up?
It's your boys, man. Back at it again, man. It's playoff Sunday, January 21st. We're deep into playoff season. For those that still have teams still in it, hats off to you. Good luck. For the rest of us, I got hummus, I got pizza, I got pop, I got beverages in terms of alcoholic drinks. We got everything on the couch, baby. You know, whether you're in the playoffs or on the couch, man, it's a glorious day today, man. It's the Fire and Ice experience, man. It's your boy, Coach, flanked by the world's greatest, man. The man you all know and love, often imitated, never duplicated. Fresh Fire, how you feeling today, bro?
I'm feeling marvelous, man. Last night we got a preview of what's to come of these games today in the divisional round. Man, these teams are coming off of byes. I like to see what they gonna do today. It's do or die. As my man Cisco used to say back in the Stormy Classics, somebody gotta win and somebody gotta lose. So
Absolutely,
let's
absolutely.
go.
Let's get it. Let's get it on. First and foremost, man, let's talk about yesterday's games. In the first matchup of the day, we had Baltimore triumph over Houston 34-10 in a virtuoso performance by Lamar Jackson in the second half. Thoughts on that game? That went kind of according to script as far as I was concerned. My pick's still in it. First and foremost, shout out to young CJ Stroud. Marvelous season for you, young man.
Oh yeah.
Houston, Texas future looks incredibly bright with you at the helm. D'Amico Ryan's calling the shots. They're probably going to lose some staff members. That's typically how this thing goes in the NFL. When you get good, they start to poach, and that's just life in the NFL. But with that being said, I think the two most, as you like to say, your favorite combination rests in Kansas City with Big Red and Patrick Mahomes, the alien. This is another connection right here that may turn out to be one of those ones for the foreseeable future. We have D'Amico Ryans and his quarterback, CJ Stroud. Talk to me, bro.
When I look at the Houston Texans, man, like you alluded to, when I speak about Patrick Mahomes, he's an alien because, like I like to say, is all you have to do is come with almost the requisite talents or tools of the position, and he will lift you to the highest heights of that profession. There is no one that I know as a player that can lift anyone to those heights. Now, when I look around the league, there are people who lift their teams, like someone like a Josh Allen. I've seen him just put the Buffalo Bills on his back. I've seen Brock Purdy, not Brock Purdy, Stafford, different players like that, put the teams on their back and like lift up their teams. And CJ Stroud, being a rookie, being a quarterback with a rookie team, with a team that has not had very good recent history, to put the team on his back, so to speak, with a lot of people we thought were no names and cast-offs and has-beens, and with a lot of young people we thought that weren't there yet, he put the team on his back, and with in concert with D'Amico Ryans, those two guys have lifted that team out of the mire of what the Fondelier and what the pastor GM and what the crazy ownership and all those things have put them in. When I look at that, like you said, those type of things matter. And that synergy, that connection, that marriage right there between D'Amico Ryans and CJ Stroud is one that I am taking great note in now and in the future going forward, because I think those two together, I think CJ Stroud can get, I'll figure out on offense. And D'Amico Ryan's like, well, I got the defense. And all it's going to take is some fine-tuning here, fine-tuning there, a piece here, a piece there. And it looks like these guys are going to be perennial contenders in the AFC going forward, bro.
Absolutely, absolutely. Shout out to what they built there in Houston. I like what's going on. Like I said, I've alluded to several weeks before. It too gives me hope that we too can do this. It gives you hope. Maybe you fail miserably, but if all of those teams that have been on the couch for a while, you too can do this. You too can do this. Now on to Baltimore. This was I think in this particular game, the week off kind of hurting because they came in stale a little bit. They had to find their footing. And the game was very close in the first half. But what you saw is a team go into fifth gear in the second half and get their second win and say, "Oh, okay, let's get it. Let's pull away from these guys. Let's show who we have been. Let's show them that they are who we are who they thought we are. The best in the NFL." And in the second half of that game, Lamar Jackson accounted for multiple touchdowns and did what he does, throwing away the narrative that, yes, I have to do this from the pocket. No, this is the time of year where I do this wherever I can, whenever I can, and however. Doesn't matter. I'm not trying to impress anyone at this point, all right? That's for MVP talk. Right now, this is about wins and losses. They walk away with the win. Shout out to Baltimore. My pick is still alive. Thoughts, fam?
I want to piggyback on something you just said. This is not the time of the year for you to be trying to win a certain type of way. This is the time of the year for you to be trying to win whatever kind of way. And this type of football bodes a little bit more to a person who can put it on their back, or as Cam Newton would say, a game changer. Make no mistake, I've never ever said that Lamar Jackson wasn't a game changer. But for now, in these recent history, I've seen football at the quarterback position sort of reverting or taking a turn to you having to have legs and may not have to have the quarterback success and acumen to succeed at some of the more higher heights, as we've had seen some of the more running first, pass second quarterbacks have had. With that being said, Lamar Jackson is at the forefront of quarterbacks who can lead with their feet and get it done enough from the pocket in these recent days and times in quarterback play. And with that being said, with someone who can do it to that extent and do that much damage with their legs, I've seen whole defenses scheme to where, well, these guys are going to give us nothing but man-to-man because they're dead scared of what you can do with your feet. Nowadays, I don't have to pick you apart from the pocket and all of that because my feet is just as dangerous as me throwing the ball anywhere on the field. And these days, Lamar Jackson in his style of play is sort of kind of coming more to the forefront of a little more feet and a little less from the pocket. And he is the exact person to lead that charge into a new quarterback era in the NFL for me.
Absolutely, absolutely. And let's make note that there are multiple black quarterbacks still alive in the playoffs. So shout out to those guys that are trying to destroy the narrative of the old, very old and tired narrative of the black quarterback, but so one that, of course, they will still have to fight for some time moving forward. Baltimore moves on to the AFC Conference Finals game. They get to host that game. They're in the comforts of home. They don't have to leave and go anywhere. Shout out to Baltimore. This is when your hard work during the season pays off. You get that conference championship at home. You're playing with house money. Shout out to Baltimore and whoever they may face. Moving on to the second game. Green Bay traveling to San Francisco. San Francisco prevailing 24-21. There was some adversity in that game for San Francisco. And I'll say this. Some of that adversity had to do with personnel, and some of that adversity had to do directly with Green Bay. Green Bay had a lot to do with San Francisco's adversity. Let's let that be known. This wasn't because they didn't have this guy or this guy. No, the other team was on your ass.
Yeah, they were.
The other team was on your ass, bro. And here's the thing, though. This was an interesting matchup to me because of how connected the coaches are. It's well known that we have both of these coaches on our staff, and they come from the same coaching tree, which is the Shanahan coaching tree. So This was going to be a chess match from the beginning. No questions about it. This was going to be cause and effect, tight game, no matter what. A lot of people felt like Green Bay backed into the playoffs. You can call it what you want, but I think when you win games, enough games, you put yourself in a position to get into the playoffs. So shout out to Green Bay, because a lot of times what you saw was their season is the byproduct of drafting and letting your guys play, not allowing veterans to take up time that young players can use to develop and progress and turn into the cornerstone players of your team moving forward. You're no longer having older guys that you're holding on to. You're having young guys get that valuable playing time and valuable reps. And what you saw was a Green Bay team that entered the playoffs with one guy at the trigger, a young quarterback who's come into his own with complete command of the offense, along with multiple wide receivers who over the season, at one point in time, each wide receiver that they have, I think there's 4 of them, led this team for that particular period in receptions. That's remarkable. That's drafting, playing, and developing your young talent. They all went through the fire together, and they're all better for it. This is a team that will challenge for that NFC North. Well, no, we don't call it the North. NFC Central, bro.
Right.
The NFC Central. They're going to challenge for that particular division for the next 10 years because, like I've said, and mind you, I have been on the Jordan Love train for a while. He's had some ups. Even when in the beginning of the season, they won a few games, I said, they got something there in this kid again, man. I was envious how they could have so much quarterbacking success over that long period of time. Well, buckle up because you got another 10 years of great quarterback play in Green Bay because they have the requisite coaches around him. The system is tailor-made for him. They drafted him with a purpose. This is the purpose. Now, this is a team that can go out, whether it be on the road or at home, and win games. This team is set up much in the same way that Houston is set up. Green Bay will be here for a long time again, folks. You'll be hearing the frozen tundra of Lambeau Field for a long time to come. This team is set up for a while, ready to go. Shout out to Matt LaFleur. Shout out to Jordan Love. Green Bay, you got one with this one. You got a nice combination with this one.
I'm really liking what I'm seeing out of young Jordan Love the last month and a half of the season, man. I can honestly say I was not on the same Jordan Love train that you were on. I just didn't see it in the beginning of the season. It was too up and down for me, too inconsistent for me. But I seen flashes. I seen enough to say, well, it's something there if there is some more consistency. You know, I'm a guy, I'm like, man, show me, man, I have to see it. I just can't give you anything. I just can't bestow jewels at your feet.
Growing pains. It was growing pains a lot.
Growing pains.
They were going through growing pains.
But I can honestly say, with my own eyes, man, I have seen this guy take command of a very young but talented offense and look pretty damn good doing it, man. I've seen him extend plays. I've seen him make read coverages. I've seen him look off defenders and make a throw over here. I've seen him extend plays and throw some dimes to some young guys, man. And like you said, all the young guys, there was a stat that at each month in the season, there was a different receiver.
That's what I was alluding to. Yeah, that's what I was alluding to.
And one of them was a tight end. So I was like, oh, he's really using everyone. Okay, this is what you're giving me?
There's no one to key on. Who do you key on?
Exactly. And that's the type of thing I'm like, ooh, that makes a whole lot more sense. And that makes a whole lot more for a successful quarterback. Someone who's like, okay, I'm not going to force it here. If this is what it's going to be here, then I'm going to take that there. But I'm
going through my progressions.
Right. I'm going through
not
my
open, next progression. Not open, next progression. Open,
and
that's who I'm hitting.
But he's also aware enough to see that, okay, well, I see how they're set up now. I can look this way because I know this is going to pop open for a little bit more over here. I've seen that in him. I was like, ooh, that's impressive. But I think the most impressive thing that I've seen in him was his poise at certain moments. I thought he was he was making some very difficult passes under pressure, off platform at times, which at first was helping him, but then it started hurting him in the fourth quarter, which I couldn't front on. I was like, it was helping him at first, and sometimes that just happens.
But sometimes that chess move, the other team, and that's why I mentioned the connection that the two coaches share. This was going to be a chess move. There were going to be subtle moves that were going to be made, that would be the difference. Some of those throws that Jordan Love made in the first half, you can't roll to one direction and throw across your body across the field. You know what I mean? Because that could hurt you later on in the game. You may not have the same zip on the ball. The defense read that one time earlier in the game, and now they're reading it again, and they make the proper adjustments. So it's a push and a pull for them to get where they got. Great season for them. Great season for Green Bay. Not to be satisfied with that because they got a lot to build on. The future looks bright in Green Bay. I really like what's going on in Green Bay. I love it. I actually love what's going on in Green Bay because it is unassuming. And then let's talk that defense, man. That defense had San Francisco befuddled with all of their weapons. That defense had San Francisco befuddled. So this is not just an offensive team. This is a very well-rounded team with some very, very, very promising budding stars on the other side of the field. Shout out to Matt LaFleur and the Green Bay Packers, man. Bright future ahead. But on to the victors. San Francisco pulls this one out. They do what they have to do and get it done. My pick is still alive. Thoughts on the Niners? My pick is still alive.
This game was a little closer than I thought it was going to be. Green Bay put forth a valiant effort for, I want to say, 50 some, well, for all 60 minutes, maybe, but it seemed like it started unraveling.
One possession game.
It was a push and pull. They was up 21-17, I want to say, late in the game, man. So they were in it. And it just seems like, I'm not going to say they ran out of gas, but it seems like the Green Bay Packers had maxed out at a certain point. And that's nothing to sneeze at. That is nothing to be, that is nothing to hang your head about. That is something to be proud about because there was probably no one other than people in the Green Bay organization thought that they was going to go this far. And you didn't show up. You didn't poop the bed. You didn't put on your jammies, Pete, and go straight to bed. You came
out. You can take that with you. You can take that
with you. That's a building block. You gave the 49ers everything they wanted. But the 49ers, they came out and did what they needed to do. I think those teams who have that bye, I just think there is something to being off for essentially 2 weeks for them.
Yeah.
Now, I'm not saying that they just totally fall off the map, but there is something to a team that played last week at a very high intensity, high leverage week, coming off playing that week. So I'm assuming that they're at least going to start faster. So they may have the more stinging blow in the beginning of the game, while the team who's been on a rest, maybe even though you've probably prepared to the best way you can prepare, it's just no way you can prepare for playoff intensity and playoff leverage unless you're in it. And until you get in it and you say, okay, well, this is how fast it's going. All right. Okay, this is no problem for us now going forward. And it seemed like after a while they got their footing, but that part didn't matter at all. They got their footing and it was like, okay, Green Bay, like, we're still here. We're still punching. We're still throwing, landing, connecting blows, and we're still here. And it took everything that they had to knock Green Bay off, but they are the victors. They got a chink knocked out of their armor. They got a chink knocked out of their armor with Deebo Samuels going down, but they did what they had to do.
Yeah, and they're right where they wanted to be in terms of where they felt this is where we have to be. I think for them, it's Super Bowl or bust. That's their aspirations. So you're at the doorstep. You're knocking on the doorstep of that thing. And this is where you envision yourself. Now it's time to close it out. Whoever that opponent may be, which we'll get to in a moment because we have 2 games today, folks. 2 big games. I actually love the matchups today. And before we get on to that, follow us on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, all streaming platforms. Go to that YouTube page, hit them likes and subscribes, man. Get those views up. We appreciate anybody watching, anybody peeking in, anybody commenting. Anytime is good time you spend with the good brothers. With that being said, today's matchup, first tilt, Tampa Bay traveling to Detroit at 3 p.m. to play Detroit football. Detroit is back, folks. This is a big game for both franchises, especially for Detroit. To have another home game in a playoffs in a year where you are resurgent. The fan base has now felt playoff success. They're home again. This is their game. This is set up perfectly for Detroit to win. But do not discount Tampa Bay coming in. Tampa Bay is sneaky good. Baker Mayfield has rebounded and found some of that Cleveland form. And I think it has a lot to do with the coaches allowing him to be free and not necessarily bottling him up, giving him the opportunity to rip it. And you're seeing the Baker Mayfield that was highly touted. That made him the number one pick. That made him a first-round pick. You're seeing that Baker Mayfield now. This is a game I see as being, I'm going to go the other way. Give me your thoughts. I'm going to process this for a second, but give me your thoughts because I'm letting this marinate and process. I think I got a way I want to go with this.
You know what's funny, man? A lot of times, man, we like to equate football players to, where you were picked and this and that and so forth and so on. But this is a battle of two first overall draft picks. But both of these players in Baker Mayfield and Jared Goff, they both are the examples of you have to be in the right situation.
Can I add this?
Please.
Let me point out that there was only one quarterback over this past weekend who was not drafted in the first round. His name is Brock Purdy. The remaining quarterbacks that played in the games this week, this particular weekend, are all first round or all, if not first rounders, first overall draft picks. Something to be said about first round quarterbacks here. Proceed.
So when you have these two guys, like you said, all of these obviously being drafted in the first round, all of these guys are talented. But we've seen in Jared Goff when it went sour in Los Angeles, like we've seen in Baker Mayfield when it went sour in Cleveland and Los Angeles and shit.
Well, to his credit, I won't say it went sour in Los Angeles. I'll say that was because that's the place where he said that the confidence, McVay gave him the confidence back.
That's fair. You know what? So, that's fair. Yeah, but the other places where it fell apart at, I'm looking at it as you have all these children who are in foster care. They all have lives and they all have equal meaning. And without the proper placement, some of these children will not be as successful as they could possibly be. But you can take a few of these children, and they can rise above some terrible, horrible situations. Mm-hmm. Those are special children. I'm not sure we're talking about special children when we're talking about Baker Mayfield and Jared Goff. And as you was alluding to with Baker Mayfield, I think he is talented. I think he was just as talented as anybody else you could have drafted number one overall draft pick that
let the record reflect that Jared Goff has already been to a Super Bowl. He led a team to a Super Bowl. So
under the right circumstances, he too can take you to a Super Bowl. But under the wrong circumstances, he can help run your team into the dirt. You feel what I'm saying? So it seems like Baker Mayfield and the Tampa Bay Bucks are a lot better marriage for Baker Mayfield. And when you have him, he's found a home that's loving. He has I got my own room. You mean this is all mine? Yeah, this is all yours, Baker Mayfield. So they show confidence in him. This is a nurturing environment for him. And look what you have. It bears the fruit in significant regular season wins that lead to significant playoff wins. When all you was a nurturing, supportive the right environment for this player or this orphaned child. And both of those guys are that. But it just goes to show that all of these people are talented. But there are just so many people. There are only so few people that can rise above some madness. And these guys are showing you put me in the right spot. Like if you put a lot of us in the right spot, we will show you exactly what you do, and we will probably be as successful as these two gentlemen have been thus far.
So this game here, speak to the game in terms of where's this game going for you? Once again, 3 p.m. start time, NBC, folks. Tampa Bay traveling to Detroit, NFC Divisional playoff game. Where's this game going for you?
I think this game's going to probably be a shootout, man. In a game like this, I don't see Baker Mayfield just going out with bullets in his chamber. He's going out firing, man. You know, like, nah, man, I don't. If we still got a chance, I'm going to be firing. And with Mike Evans, who just seems to just catch 1,200 yards and touchdowns, 10 touchdowns for whoever was throwing him the ball. And you got Middletown's own Chris Godwin out there who's just been consistent as he can be. You know what I'm saying? The defense is playing their Todd Bowles defense. They're back playing, looking like they was playing a couple years ago. They're like, why not us? Like they say, I don't like the term of, but I see like, why not us? We're playing with house money. Why not go into Detroit and knock them off just like they've knocked off anybody else? We are Tampa Bay just like they're Detroit. We're on the come up just like they're on the come up. And they have Baker Mayfield, who I think is the embodiment of that very thing. So going into Detroit today, I think it's going to be a shootout. I think Baker Mayfield is going to bust every bullet in his chamber. And dare I say, my gut is telling me to go with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Whoa.
In a shootout. In a close one. But I just think it's just too much going on. I ain't going to say too much going on in Detroit, but I don't want to go too far, too fast with Detroit. You feel what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Can you handle it, Detroit? Can you handle all this austerity? Can you handle all this success? I don't know. It's been a long time since you had a playoff game. It's been a long time since you won a playoff game. You brought out every superstar you had. I understand it. You know, you're going to do it again this week? Can you match what you did last week? It took a lot for you to win last week. And I actually think that with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers in the I guess the very convincing fashion that they beat the Eagles, I think they carried that into Detroit today. And I think they pull out a stunner shootout to the tune of 35-33. Buccaneers. You heard it here first.
That's fair. That's fair. I look at this game and I say to myself, okay, the monkey is off Detroit's back. They won a playoff game. They got here. I think Detroit can now be free and play football. There's no pressure. You're not letting the city down anymore. Yeah, you will. They'll drag everyone out. You'll see the Fab Five out there. You'll see Eminem out there. You'll see every conceivable Detroit native on camera today. Every conceivable Detroit superstar on camera today. They're gonna pull Barry Sanders out. They're gonna pull Megatron out. And you know what, folks? I think they throttle the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I think they throttle the Buccaneers. Yeah. This is going to me look like the Baltimore game. They're going to throttle Tampa Bay. The monkey is off their back. You'll see Detroit play a premium football game today. Not to say Tampa Bay won't give a spirited effort. I just think Detroit steps on the gas today, and I think they run away from the Buccaneers to the tune of 31. I don't think Tampa Bay puts up as many points that they put up last week. As a matter of fact, I'm going to go 35-17. 35-17 Detroit. You're going to see Detroit look good today. I think they look good. They let it rip. Yeah, they let it rip. Listen, they let it rip. You're going to get a premium performance today. Detroit wins this game going away 35-17. Book it. I got Detroit. Detroit moves on to the conference championship to play the San Francisco 49ers. They make that trek out to the Bay, and we'll see what happens there. So right now we're on opposite ends of the spectrum. We'll see how this shakes out later on today. We'll both be on hand together, and we'll see how this shakes out. Next game, and boy, do we got a doozy with this next one. Oh man, there's so many subplots with this one, so many storylines. We got rivalries. Kansas City travels to Buffalo, 6:30 p.m. on CBS to play Josh Allen. Yeah, folks, this is one of them ones. This is one of them ones. Listen, get your dinner cooked early. Get everything settled. Find yourself a nice, comfortable seat. This one of them ones. And I say that because you got multiple plots. On the top is the rivalry between Josh Allen and Patrick Mahomes. Well publicized, no question about it. You're dealing with two guys, one that seemed to have been a thorn in the side of the other when it matters. Not to say that Josh Allen has not had success against Kansas City, because he has, folks. Josh Allen has beaten Kansas City a number of times. However, we all know wins and losses only count when they do count. And in football, they count during playoff time. And one player owns the majority of the wins over the other guy, and that's the alien, Patrick Mahomes, over Buffalo. But there is a subplot here, folks. The subplot here is that this is Patrick Mahomes' very first road playoff game. Very first road playoff game.
That's something to be said in itself, bro. That's something to be said in itself.
Now, that's a subplot, right? That's a subplot. So you got the main plot, the rivalry. The subplot is, now I locked the door. Now you can't leave. Now you in my house now.
Right.
You are in my house. Haven't been here before. Show you around the place a little bit, you know?
Right.
You know, I show you around the place a little bit. You know, it's spacious around here. You know, it's a little cold. I'm pretty sure you're used to that. But it's a different kind of cold up in Buffalo.
Right.
Orchard Park's a little different cold. A little different around here, you know? Oh, all that? Oh, that's crowd noise, you know? You're not used to hearing that when you got the football, you know?
Right.
You're not used to, that's my peoples. You know, that's my peoples. Don't worry about that. That's just my peoples. Don't worry about that. You get used to it, or maybe you won't, but that's just my people. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. I'll show you how to get in. I'll show you how to get out.
Right.
Now let's dance. Thoughts on the game, bro?
Like you said, there's a lot of things that go into this game, man. It's a lot of tentacles attached to this game. You have the head-on-head, the alien against the superhero. You have Andy Reid and Sean McDermott, who's actually from Andy Reid's coaching tree. You have the budding rivalry, which is the Kansas City Chiefs versus the Buffalo Bills. It seems like every game that they play is significant, rather it be regular season or playoffs.
It's an instant classic.
Right. You know, we can go a lot of places with this football game, but one thing I want to go to in reference to this football game is I want to say these are two different iterations of these two teams versions of these teams that we haven't been seeing of late. Usually Patrick Mahomes is the key cog. Well, exactly. He is the key cog in Kansas City. But their defense is playing pretty damn good as of late. If not been playing the best, rivaling San Francisco and Baltimore as the best defense in football. That has been rare, if not seen, in the Patrick Mahomes era. On the other side of the ball, the Buffalo Bills actually have found a running game.
At the right time.
Right time.
What's up, Antoine AP? What's good with you?
And they found a running game, and the name that's attached to it is not Josh Allen. But, I don't have to throw the cape on. I mean, I still got it. It's not even the case. I still got it. But I don't even have to throw the cape on for us to still be in the game, if not leading the game. These are two different iterations of the teams that we are not used to seeing in recent history, man.
They both was coming in like we would have thought this would have been the high flying Bills and the high flying Chiefs. No, sir.
Yeah, it's seeming like these two teams are morphing into something different, and right now it's a little harder to gauge because it seems like things change right in front of your face. You know, like I always say, life comes at you fast, and as soon as the Bills found out, oh, we can hand the ball off to somebody, it seems like everything changed for them.
Just like
it didn't seem like in the same aspect. Okay, we was talking about guys dropping the ball in Kansas City, which they was, but it seemed like okay, well the defense was like, all right, we were playing good, but they wasn't saying anything. Let's play even better. And it's like, oh, we didn't even talk about the drops anymore or the inactivities of.
Let's turn into the best defense now.
Let's turn into the best defense, and we don't have to worry about people catching the ball because they're only going to score 3 field goals. You know, so those two things I'm looking at, that is a very interesting thing for me to see, because it's interesting to see underneath the dynamic, like you said, this is the first time Patrick Mahomes has been on the road. And all the games that they've played, all the significant games that he's played, he's either been in the Super Bowl or at home.
It's the first like you said, playoff road game, true road playoff game.
True road playoff game.
Which is a testament to that marriage in itself.
And Josh Allen's like, well, hold on, you know what? You didn't even get to come to see me at my crib when I was this other person. But did this here. I have upgraded since the other times that you passed on invitations to my house. I have upgraded. Let me show you this running game. Let me show you our crazy defensive depth that we have.
Let me show you this other tight end.
Let me show you this other tight end that you didn't get to see. And, oh, my fault, you haven't seen on the walls. You feel what I'm saying? So
I got beautiful architecture going on around. It's beautiful around here, you know?
It's hard to gauge, but it's going to be very interesting to see how the game plays out. Because it seems like everybody involved has enough to say, all right, I have the talent and the ego and the wherewithal to take the game over. But it seems like now, the best of me right now is to kind of point guard this thing, let everybody do their thing. Defense, y'all be defensing. Special teams, y'all special teams. I'll make sure I game manage to the best of my ability. You know, so I don't really know what's going to happen. I just know it's going to come down to whoever has the ball last is going to win.
Alluding to what you mentioned earlier about the two teams, they're settling nicely into new identities that may actually bode well for them moving forward, because now we've seen them play in such high-flying scenarios with both guys, and they have now adjusted to a more, I dare I say, throwback style of play from yesteryear. They're both giving you the feel of a nostalgic style of football, which is boding well for both of them, because no longer can they rely simply on offense. They're relying on other things: defense, running the ball, pace. So I applaud both franchises for making that turn, because most franchises cannot. And I applaud both quarterbacks for being willing to be able to make those changes. Mm-hmm. Shout out to the coaching staffs for making those adjustments. All around, great job from both teams. The game. I'll let you tackle this one first.
Man, for all the stuff I just said earlier, man, to me, this is the clash of the Titans. No disrespect to Lamar Jackson, but this is the clash of the Titans to me. When these two guys go up against each other, you can almost throw out everybody else, because Patrick Mahomes can take his team and do whatever he needs for his team to do, for his team to succeed at the highest heights. Joshua Allen, he can take his team and at least rival and at least rival
They're both so fun to watch, man. Like, man.
in everything. Right. These two guys, nothing is off the table. With that being said, with this being Patrick Mahomes' first dance on the road, I'm not sure how big of an obstacle it'd be for him. I mean, you know, I love Patty Mahomes. I love him. So I believe in him more than I believe in any motherfucking thing else. You know, sun going to rise in the morning, Patrick Mahomes the best motherfucker around. You know what I'm saying? I'm not sure I believe in everything else around him. I'm not sure I believe in everything else around him. I believe Patrick Mahomes is going to hit you in your hands. I believe Patrick Mahomes is going to hit you in your chest. I believe Patrick Mahomes will extend whatever play needed, however long it needs to be extended, to hit you in your fucking face mask if he has to. The thing I don't believe in is those guys he's throwing the ball to.
Okay.
Those are the guys that have been letting him down all season long. And I think this rears its ugly head again today at the very worst time to do it. I mean, there is no stone I'll throw at Patty Mahomes. The only thing I'd probably say is you probably need a motherfucker to holler at your wide receivers a little bit more. Like, come on, man, I'm hitting you. God damn it, I'm doing every fucking thing I possibly can besides walking you the ball and handing it to you.
Help me, help you.
Help. Nigga. Nigga. You know? Like, yo, and the one thing I said, well, the one marriage that I think that a lot of people are underlooking at is the marriage between Patrick Mahomes and one Travis Kelce. That marriage has been the one that has probably been the rockiest and the least talked about all season long. Because I like to think that Patrick Mahomes has Travis Kelce. He's pretty good. This ain't the Travis Kelce we all know and love. He's dropped a bunch of balls that we ain't used to seeing. I actually think, and I've been on record saying, I think the whole team, probably besides Patrick Mahomes, was a little bit unfocused with all the Taylor Swift and all the extracurriculars. With that being said, man, I think that hurts them again today. I think that hurts them again today. I think the Buffalo Bills have been coming into their own for a month, and some change now. Like, oh, we just found out we can hand the ball to James Cook, and he's pretty goddamn good. Oh, that takes a lot of pressure off Josh Allen. Oh, that takes a lot of pressure off Stephon Diggs. Oh, we got a guy, Gabe Davis, down. Oh, fuck it. We don't even notice because we got Khalil Shahir out here running through the whole goddamn defense. That's the whole thing I think Joshua Allen is understanding now is I don't have to make every play. And that's a dangerous Josh Allen. A very, very, very dangerous Josh Allen. I can do it all. Please. Like I said, I got the cake right here. You know what? I'm going to chill. I'm going to chill. That's a dangerous player right now. And I think right now, man, he's actually coming into his own. I think this is the time. I think this is his time.
Up. Yeah, he's leveling up.
I think he's leveling up because
Games
I think they said
slowing down. You know what I mean?
I think they said like they say, it's one step back actually equal 2 steps forward for him and the Buffalo Bills. And I think today, with a couple being the first road playoff game for essentially Kansas City, anybody in the Kansas City organization for the last 5, 6, 7 years, I think that hurts them more than it hurts Buffalo being in newer standards. And I think Buffalo wins a nail biter. I think it's going to be nothing but close between these two guys. But I think they win a nail biter to the tune of 30-28 Buffalo.
Awesome analysis, bro. Awesome analysis. So I'll say this. This is hard because this is almost like picking who wins between like two of the premier guys playing the quarterbacking position right now. what I'm interested in and what I want to hear, I'm gonna be front row to hear that opening moment of the game when the Bills Mafia gets to go absolutely batshit crazy. Folks, you talk about a fan base and a place that has been foaming at the mouth to be in this position against this particular team. They have to be a factor. They have to be a factor. Bills Mafia has to insert themselves into the game, a la the Seattle first 12th man. That place has to be so crazy that they have a literal effect on the game with the alien calling timeouts and Andy Reid calling time. I want to see the ice shingles dropping off of that place. They got to be that loud. It's got to be absolutely crazy in there. I do not think this is a high-scoring game. I think this is a game. I think there's going to be some big plays. Big plays. Because there may be some blown coverages. It's going to be that tight. The alien comes in, and he does some things, folks. They execute. I just don't think they produce enough touchdowns. A lot of Kansas City drives are going to stall with field goals. I think Buffalo, having that extra dimension of being at home and just that thing of, I got you now. I got you, motherfucker. I got you. I'm going to go with Josh Allen today. I'm going to go with Josh Allen today, folks. And because I think this is just the latest chapter in this newfangled Peyton Manning, Tom Brady-esque rivalry. This is the next chapter. And for the Bills to even want to be considered, you have to have this game. You have to have this game. You cannot let Kansas City come in to Orchard Park and leave with a W. They got to leave with blood, Buffalo. They got to leave with nothing but blood and dust. You can't, what could be better, bitch?
Huh.
You don't get a better opportunity than this because my thought process is that Kansas City will retool next year, okay? They may not be in this position again next year. You got to take advantage of this. Give me Buffalo. 23-16. 23-16. I got the Buffalo Bills prevailing 23-16. Buffalo marches on. They travel down the road to play Baltimore next weekend. And he faces another juggernaut in the game. Lamar Jackson. That does it, folks. That's my picks. Oh, I do want to mention something too. I was on the social mediums. I like to call them mediums. And I saw a comment from a guy who was actually in the sports world. Him and another sports writer, media head, had a beef earlier last week. And, the larger rotund fellow made a comment, which kind of shocked me. I didn't understand why you wouldn't know this, but he made the comment because he was enamored with Baltimore at the time, and he said, "Wow, if Baltimore wins this Super Bowl over a 23-year span, they will have done it with 3 different quarterbacks. Can anybody make that claim?"
Wow, that I have not thought about that. But y'all guys have done it.
There's 2 teams in the same division that have done it. New York, as well as what? How do you not know that? And he said it with a question mark, like, this is some phenomenal accomplishment. But folks, both those teams did it in shorter span.
Yo, I was looking at the team that you're wearing, and I was like, they was the first team to do it, didn't they? You guys,
Yeah.
and that was like, it seemed like that was in like 8 years.
Bro, it was like it was a 9-year span. How do you not notice? The Giants did it as well with 3 different quarterbacks. How do you not notice? I digress. But it goes to show everybody don't know everything.
You right about
everybody
that,
don't know
bro.
everything. But that's
right
something I think you should know. But I digress. But listen, it's the 12 o'clock hour. We have the benefit today of a nice gap in between games. The first game does not kick off until 3 p.m. So you got an opportunity to get your snacks, get everything in order. You get to use the bathroom. You get to set the couch up nice. My couch's been set for a while. I've been here for a minute. But with that being said, hey, man, we coming.
Yes, sir.
We coming.
Yes, sir.
And also, listen, the Fire Nice Experience rocks out tonight. The live show, the flagship show, we moved to Sunday nights. So moving forward, Tuesday night show will be Sunday nights, 8 o'clock, same time, same bat channel, same guys, but in full strength. Ultimately, we thought Sunday was the best night. I think it's a great night, you know. We get to sit with y'all unabashed. You know, we're off all day. We get to prepare even more for you guys on Sunday nights on the same platforms, YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter. Rock out with us, whichever one you choose to watch on. But hit that like, subscribe button on YouTube. We will be here prompt live 8 p.m. tonight. And also, we will be with you Tuesday nights, but we'll give you a little something different on Tuesday nights, a little something different, a little more entertaining on Tuesday nights. The boys are going to give you something consistently. We got a lot of ducks in order now. We need y'all help too. You know, we need y'all help too. Chime in with us. Drop in with us. Got an interesting show tonight. We got some interesting topics to go over. You know, we run the gamut. We don't just talk about generic things. We're kind of, I don't want to say we all over the place because that gives the impression of being non-intentional. Yeah, but there's nothing scatterbrained about what we do. We're very intentional. We just like to cover a lot of broad topics. That's what we do. We like to take you in different places because it's a vast world and it's a lot of information out there. We like to travel and do a lot of different things and bring you a lot of different perspectives, stories, so that you're entertained. And we love to think that you are entertained. This is not a hood show. We do hood things. We are hood guys, but this is not a generic hood show, and we're not all about sports. So with that being said, we are a news program. Let's make a distinction. We are a news program. This is the experience. We like to give you different experiences, whether it be sports, entertainment, so on and so forth. But there are different things out there that we like to experience, and we'd like you to experience them with us. We appreciate y'all walking out with the Fire Nice Experience, Sunday Sports Talk. We're going to move in another direction tonight. Rock out with us, man. Have a few drinks. You know how we do. Closing thoughts?
Man, I can't front, man. Yesterday, I seen a lot from Jordan Love and CJ Stroud. It goes a lot to say, man, when you hit on something, it's not really up for debate. You either hit or you miss. You feel what I'm saying? There's a lot of things that go into hitting and missing, but when you see hits and misses, I'm assuming that these people who get paid a whole lot of money to scout these players, like, oh, okay. They're just like us, like, oh, these guys are hits. And CJ Stroud and Jordan Love in their first playoff experiences last week and this week,
bang the hits.
They have impressed me. You know what I'm saying? In closing, they can go home, they can have their head held high, and definitely go into the off season with way more positive thoughts and a more positive outlook on their future than some other teams that may have lost in recent playoff history.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely. So listen, we appreciate y'all rocking out with us on this Sunday, man, on the Fire Nice pregame talk where we worship football all day long. The spirit of football is within all of us. We're coming to a close. The season is winding down. We're in the most important times. So this is playoff football. We appreciate y'all rocking with us. You could be anywhere in the world, man, but you rocking out with the best. And ain't no questions about it. It's the Fire and Ice Experience out. We'll catch y'all later on tonight. The Fire and Ice Experience. Rock with us. Walk with us, as my boy would say. We out. Fresh, take us out of here.